that's going to matter is winning games. And we've got a huge game now on Wednesday, away to Villa, a Villa team that currently sit ninth in the Premier League. I know that's something that's probably bringing you a tremendous amount of joy, is seeing Villa down in ninth. Their form has been very hit and miss. They had a decent start to the season. They were fourth after 9 games. But since then, more defeats in the league than wins in the league, and a lot of draws. And in their last 4 games, they haven't won any. They've got 3 draws and a defeat. Last time out, a 1-1 draw at home with an Ipswich Town team who played with 10 men from 40 minutes on. Villa are struggling with injuries. Ezri Konsa is out, which is huge. Pau Torres is out, which is every bit as big. Matty Cash is out. Amadou Onana in midfield is out. Boubacar Kamara, who've been starting at centre-back for them as cover and is their best midfielder, he's now out. Looks like Ross Barkley will miss our game as well. And then you've got Leon Bailey, who's got a knock, but they're hoping he'll be okay to play against us. But if he is, it's likely only off the bench. This is a really good time, I think, for us to play Villa.
Right, where do you want me to start? Aston Villa, players or manager?
Start with the manager, because I know it's your favorite topic.
So, as always, I'm going to begin this with the usual disclaimer, because you way over egg the amount that I feel about Mr. Emery. I don't hate Mr. Emery. I don't detest him. I just think he is an okay manager. He's really good at what he does, and what he does is get teams to a certain point. And he is lauded at being way above that station, which is the bit I have the issue with. So Man City, we're talking about Aston Villa being in ninth at the minute, is actually an underperformance of what he generally does. So, of course, there's going to be the usual context of injuries and competitions and all the rest of it. But basically speaking, if Villa finish ninth this season and don't do anything dramatic in the cups, he will have done poorly this year. That's just how it is. That's the expectation on Villa now, right? Do you agree?
100%, yeah.
100%, right. So what's one of the really big things that I always say about Unai Emery? What holds him back, holds his teams back, and all the rest of it?
His away form.
His away form. So what have Villa done away from home again this season?
4 wins, 2 draws, and 6 defeats.
Yeah. 4 victories from 12 games. That's a 1 in 3 rate yet again for Unai Emery. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but we did do a big deep dive, and I'm pretty sure it was it 9 was about the average that he roughly got across the course of like 15 years or something like that. I worked it out as, which is 9 out of potentially 19 away games for victories just isn't enough. If you're going to be an elite manager, an elite club, challenging for actual thing, it's not enough. It doesn't count. That's why he's done so well in Europe, because you can hold teams to a draw or get away with a 1-0 defeat, because at home you have your setup and you're really good and you're consistent and all the rest of it. And that's why he's done well. And that's absolutely to be applauded. He doesn't take the next steps. He never has done. Never, ever. And that's why he often falls short, even when he's at PSG, when he's at Arsenal, when the expectations are higher, when you have to actually win consistently. So yet again, Aston Villa this season are not doing that. Not just in the Premier League terms either, but just general away matches. They've actually won twice since 19th of October across all competitions away from home.
Yeah, 1 win in the league since the 19th of October. And just for context, their away wins at West Ham on the opening day. Now, at the time, we thought that's a really good result because West Ham are going to be good. West Ham have been trash, so it doesn't look all that impressive. They beat Leicester away. They're going down. They beat Fulham away, which is comfortably the best away result they've had. And the other one is a 1-0 win at home, away to Everton in Moyes' first game, when Moyes hadn't really had time to, work with the players. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like they've had 2 draws away. One was at Ipswich. The other was at Arsenal. The Arsenal away draw is by far the best result they've had on the road this season. Yeah. So they've got 1 good away win and 1 good away draw. And the rest, a club like Villa absolutely should be doing.
I'd also add in the away win to Fulham. They were 2-1 up at the time, but it was still against a Fulham who had centre-back Anderson sent off with like half
Yes.
an hour to play. So
Yeah.
not the only factor, but again, worth noting. Team-wise then, I wrote about Villa just a couple of weeks back, actually, before they played Tottenham. And Spurs, the Spursy label and Ange and all the rest of it, they're seen as like a really, really inconsistent side. Yeah. Aston Villa generally aren't, but they absolutely should be. At the time that they played each other, and they've both played 2 matches since then, Aston Villa's previous 23 matches, they'd won 8 games. And Spurs' previous 23 matches, they'd won 8 games. Like Spurs tend to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Aston Villa can win like 2 or 3 on the bounce and then go like 5 without a win.
Yeah.
They are still the same amount of inconsistency to their games and to their performance levels. So I agree with you in terms of this is a good time to play them, but with a couple of caveats. One being that this will be in the middle of a run of 4 home matches for them.
Yeah.
We obviously have had A, more matches to play, and B, I would argue somewhat of more stressful scenarios to go through given the derby and all the rest of it. They beat Spurs in the FA Cup. That was fairly routine, I would say. And then the draw with Ipswich, which, like you say, is definitely a disappointing result. I wouldn't say it was like a high pressure environment game. It's a mid-table placed side who probably feel that they have bigger fish to fry this season.
But how do you see the thing is, right? When you're in mid-table, you don't get to fry the bigger fish unless you beat the shit out of the small fish. Like if you're Villa and you're 9th and Ipswich are coming to town and they're 18th or 17th or whatever they were, 18th before the weekend, I think. 19th before the weekend. You have to beat them. And when they go down to 10 men after 40 minutes, there's just no excuse. I know they had injuries, but there's just no excuse for it. Like their home form hasn't been great this season. They've only lost at home once this year. Arsenal beat them in match week 2. Villa should have won that game. But since then, they've beaten Everton, Wolves, Brentford, Southampton, Manchester City, and Leicester. That's their home wins. One of those teams is in the top half. One of them. And they got City when City were dreadful and losing to everybody. Their draws then, United, a bad team. Bournemouth, they're a good team. Palace, I'm almost certain we're still in the bottom 3 when they went there and got a draw. Brighton were all out of sorts and went there and got a draw. West Ham have been trash all year, went there and got a draw. And Ipswich have been, well, they're going down. And they went there and got a draw. Like, their home form hasn't even been good. Normally with Emery, the away form is, like you said, not quite good enough. But the home form ensures that he gets a team in and around the mix for like 4. But this season, the home form isn't getting you there. And the away form is abysmal. So, like, they're harder to beat at home. You should be. But they've only won 2 more home games than away games, and they've played 1 more home game.
Yeah, I think that there's more to come from Villa, and we've both acknowledged already that injuries are a part of this, certainly in some matches and in terms of like getting those partnerships playing on a regular basis, which did them so well last year. But even so, I think there are certain individuals there who have had a downturn in form. Like we can talk about Morgan Rogers being outstanding this year, and we'd be correct. I would also talk about Emi Martinez being way under his best level this year, and I think that would also be a real contributory factor to what they've done so far.
Yeah, I don't think he's been particularly good at all this year. I don't think Ollie Watkins, I know he's got 11 Premier League goals. I don't think he's played anywhere close to his best level this season. Now, some of that is the Duran factor because Emery was trying to keep them both happy. Now, that's gone now, so it's all on Watkins. He got a goal at the weekend, but he didn't play well. So, when your goalkeeper and your number 9 are not performing to the level that you expect them to, And then your midfield, which I'd imagine going into the season, they were thinking, once Kamara's back, it's Onana and Kamara, and we're good. They've been really disrupted this season. Both of them have had a couple of knocks. Onana's form has been very, very hit and miss. And then the other partnership you're always relying on is your centre-back partnership. And I think for the most part, Konza and Torres have been good, but they've both had spells on the sideline, and now they're both on the sideline. So, you know, when the spine of your team, goalkeeper, centre-backs, centre midfield, and striker, are not performing to the level that you may be projected before the season, it is always going to be tough to achieve the goals that you set out before the year.
All right, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts, and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the Great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.